All right, what's going on, everyone? SBN Lifestyle here. Great day, great night, wherever you are in life. Really doesn't matter. But I'm going to be talking about perfectionism in this video and how perfectionism kills creativity. It's a disaster for people like me that are trying to create and put stuff out, because the more that I think about it, the less that I'll put out. So the videos that I've been putting out lately, that's just me putting it out raw and uncut. I'm not trying to make it perfect or mastered. There's this concept going around on YouTube and everywhere on the internet that your music has to sound a certain way and it has to be mixed a certain way, and everyone sounds the same. Everything sounds the same. And I look for people that do not sound like everyone else and sounds different. And I really think this is just what I think. This is my opinion, but I know a lot of people will agree with me when I say this. It's like we're all trying to be perfect. We're all trying to fit into this mold of how can I be like this person? How can I be like this group? How can I be like this thing? How can I sound like Mariah Carey? Or how can I sound like 50 Cent? Or how can I sound like, whoever, Marilyn Manson, anybody. I mean, Marilyn Manson, his music is pretty awesome. Some of it, most of it. But it's like this whole perfectionist thing and this whole you have to master your music thing. I have a saying that I just made. And it goes like this: a great mix is always better than a mix that needs mastered. I just made that quote up, and to me, if your mix is well and you put the effort into making your mix sound right, there's no need for mastering. If you mix right, if you get the volumes and the velocities and the sounds and the tones right to fit together, some people need to practice this a lot. And I had a lot of practice. I've been making music for 20 years, and in between them times, I wasn't making music at all. It was only a couple years overall that I was making music on drum machines and synth drum machines. And this Roland JDXI that I have, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to make history with this thing because no one else is diving into these machines. There is other material on the internet. There is other people that are, showing us their music capabilities and they're putting stuff out, but it's either hip hop that sounds like everything else, or it's like cinematic music, or like the beginning of a movie, or like techno slash, dub bass stuff. Those are the only things that I hear. And see, this might sound crazy, but I want to carve out my own lane in this music thing. That's why I gave myself this name, the somebody but nobody lifestyle, because I want to be on all sides of the spectrum. I want to bring something that nobody has ever brought. I want to create something that has never been thought of or no one has ever heard. And I want people to go, wow, this is unique. This is genuine. I really like this. And I just wanted to inspire people, because I want to be inspired. But I can't, there's a lot of times that I can't be inspired because Everyone is trying to fit into the mold of everyone else's music. And they're not just being them. There's a difference between you trying to sound like someone else, or you're trying to mimic somebody else. And then there's a big difference between you sounding like you and you taking a chance. And even if you make mistakes or failures, who cares? It took me so long to just put out a video with my music in it. It took me almost 3 years since I got the Roland JDXI and the Electribe 2, like 2 years, 2.5 years ago. I just put out stuff, and I have a whole thing. I'm not boasting. I'm just telling you this because I want to inspire you. My whole machine is full of patterns on my Electribe 2 Gray Synth. It's absolutely full. I have to record them into a DAW to get them out of the system. I can't record anything else because I have so much stuff on there that is decent material. Not everything is decent like I think it is, but I have it full, and my JDXI is full, and I know that everyone subscribed to my channel. You are not musicians, and you're maybe not artists. But here's another thing. Y'all don't realize that talking and expressing yourself is an art. Debate is an art. You writing in the comments and saying what's on your mind is art. It can inspire somebody. Even if it's bad, even if it's good, it can inspire somebody. This is what I mean by, and I say this, and it's going to sound weird when I say this, but I am your negative. I am the thing that you don't want to necessarily maybe look at. And I tell you to look at both things. Look at the negative and the positive. Look at the good and the bad. Look at the small and the big. Look at the light and the darkness. Look at everything as a contradiction. This is my teaching. And that's why I always talked about that nothingness aspect, being on the fence and not taking sides, but seeing both sides and being on both sides. That's the amazing thing in it, is that you can come up with things that you would never imagine with this contradiction. And it's like, I hate to criticize and I hate to say this, but it's so one-dimensional and everybody's just doing the same thing. I hear very few songs that sound different and have a message that is relatable to me. I don't want to hear about your money and pointing guns at people and shooting and killing and selling drugs. I don't want to hear about that. If you're storytelling and you're saying something that you did and you learned from it and you got over it and you're putting that in your lyrics or something, that's fine. But when that is your message all the time, I can't relate to that, man. I can't relate to that, woman. Anybody watching or anybody that's going to watch this, I do want to record with other artists, and I do want to do things with my craft with other people, but they kind of push me away because they're trying to conform and mold into the world and how the mainstream is doing things. And that's why I said I want to carve out my own lane in this. I don't want to be like everyone else. And that's why I say somebody but nobody. Left and right, up and down. A dud and an explosion. It's like there's so many ways that we can be creative with this thing. I have a Roland JDXI that costed $500, and there are machines. Now, I know a lot of you don't know about this stuff because you might not be into the music like I am, But there's MPC1, MPC Live, Machine Plus, Dave Smith Instruments, Prophet 12, Prophet 8, I think, Novation, Korg. There's so many different things to create with. And I call it, it's like ecosystems. It's like galaxies of ideas and creativity that you and I can be doing. And I just hear so much of the same sounds and textures and rhyming and rhythm. That's why I'm going to keep telling people and telling you and telling you and telling you this over and over and over again. Carve out your own path and go for it. Tell yourself, I want to be different and unique to myself. That's what you got to tell yourself, because that's what I tell myself every day, even when I'm down and out, even when I'm having a shitty time, even when I'm not in the mood, even when I necessarily don't want to create, which is very seldom that I don't. 95% of the time, maybe more than that. I'm not bragging, but I was born to create. I was born to do this, and I want to give that inspiration to everyone else. And I think the artists and musicians that really do have their craft down and they're really great, they're selfish with this thing. They're not giving it to you in a way where we both can relate to it. Where if all of us are in a group, we're all bouncing to the same melody and we're all singing the same song. Joy, joy, joy. If the message is joy, then let it be joy. If the message is understanding, let it be understanding. I don't want to sit here and brag about money and the jewelry I got, even though I wear this necklace and I like things like this. But it's not about that. It's about the music, and it's about being creative and being yourself all the time. And this is what I think about all the time. I can't tell other people what to think, but don't always think so positive or so negative. Think of both things if you can. Look at all sides of the spectrum. Observe all the colors and say, what can I do with this blue? Can I give it to you? What can I do with this gray? Will I make it today? What can I do with this red? Is there something wrong with my head? Maybe, maybe not. The color of red is usually hot, and the color of orange is too. Now let's get back to the blue. If you're looking at me, then I see you. You see the creation? And even if we're waiting, we can still do something that will be penetrating our mind. We can find a way. Say whatever it is that we want to today. SBN lifestyle. Be yourself always. Never hold back. Like a heavenly choir singing, everybody on one track. Never step back. If you take a step forward, then let it be. SBN lifestyle, y'all. For you and for me is what it's always going to be. Be creative, be free, be natural, only human. Later, y'all.